We will launch the Periscope. Periscope launching. Periscope launching. There it is. There it is. Periscope launching. Okay. Then momentarily we can remove the graphic, correct? Momentarily we can remove the graphic. Momentarily. I am ready for graphic removal. I am ready for graphic removal. Where should I be? Higher?
Yeah, a little higher.
I mean,
That works too, though, if that's what you're feeling.
do people do this low?
Not usually, no.
It's an interesting visual. Let me see how it looks. Hi there, I'm Stephen Brody Stevens. I'm looking at this is I'm looking at the monitor right now. There's a delay on the screen, so I have to see it where everything is at. So we're checking the screens right now. It's an interesting angle. It's funny. It's a funny angle. If you were to ask me, it's funny. And I was being, hold on, stay with me. I'm not a bad guy. This is pre. Let me just get comfortable with the angle. Two, check. Okay, I should just look at that. That's the monitor I got to look at right there. That's what we're looking at. All right, I think maybe I should get back up. I don't know. Emma. Yeah. Is this normal to be this low? Is this like a human shouldn't function like this?
I mean, if you want to function like that, you can. That's not how people usually sit, though.
But they have standing desks now, right? Where you're standing and the desk is kind of at your sternum.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Let me see. Now I'm going to stand. This is just pre. This is pre. Let's go back up. This actually probably looks more. There you go. Maybe I'll just stay at this. This is probably the spot to stay. This looks normal, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't a funny visual.
Yeah.
We could make it funny.
I think it is funny. When you were low, it's funny, but this is normal.
Who's that? Brenton's coming in. So here's the deal. Now we haven't started yet. We're just on We're just pre-potting. But make sure they don't see my. They can't see my. Somebody's going to zoom in on my bookmarks. That's what they'll do. I know how this town is. They're going to go, oh, Brody looks at yahoo.com or whatever. That's what they're going to say. So I have to be very careful with social media these days. They'll freeze it, they'll zoom, they'll expand, and did that come out good? This is this is just on Twitter. We're looking at this. Okay, good. Brenton's the master of this. Hey, Brenton, if you want to come back later and talk,
Yes.
you're always welcome.
I'll come down for like the last 15 or so.
All right, come back in.
Okay.
Come back in whenever you want. You're always welcome. We can talk life. We can talk. Just talk current events. We could talk news.
Yeah.
You could use it to whatever you think it's best.
I'll be back down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brenton Biddlecombe. All right, I say we start. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to let people in from the podcast world. So we're going to roll. I'll count it, but I'll count it in. We'll start with the countdown. So the podcast right now, you're recording, correct, Emma?
I was waiting for your countdown.
Okay. Okay. So right now we're live on Twitter. We're live on Periscope. We are not live on podcast. Nothing is being recorded podcast-wise. Okay. Now, I'll go 3, 2, 1, and at that point, you press record, and then I'll set. Then you just start recording.
Yep, you just tell me when.
And then do we edit after? Do I say, hey, can we? No, I don't want you to have to do any extra work. So let me visualize this. Right now we're on Twitter. We're on Periscope. Nothing audibly is being recorded through the servers here at All Things Comedy. When Emma's great, and when I say Emma, press record. Then we're recording. Okay, that's my now here's my question. We're recording. But does that recording go out over the air? Could that? You see what I'm saying? Oh, I don't even think you've been listening.
No, I was listening.
I'm saying when we press record, and then I go, okay. You know what? I say we press record. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, record.
Okay.
Is what I'll do.
Okay.
And then when I say record, that will signify the end of the pre-pod. And then I'll bring people into but there'll still be pre-pod energy on the podcast. I kind of want to work into it. Like I was on another podcast recently. Here we go. 3. I want to say you guys are great on Twitter only, right? And Periscope. Thank you. 3, 2, 1, record. And now we're in. Just talking, getting ready, setting up the shots. We're doing the social media. Oh, hey, everybody. Hi, I'm Steven, Brody Stevens, and welcome to the pre-pod on the pod of the Festival of Sports and Friendship here on All Things Comedy in Burbank, California. Say hello to Twitter. Say hello to Periscope. Say hello to the recordings, which are not released yet. They are not released yet, but we are recording. It's just a lot of things. I look at things differently now. I wear essentially prism glasses. If you were to take glasses from somebody who had prism issues and you put them on, you would look at things differently. Okay, now I need to focus. I haven't been here for a couple weeks. You're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens on a podcast. I will probably be calling out later, accepting calls. We're going to accept calls. We are going to call out. We're going to play sound effects theater, I think. Oh, I left my baseball cards out in the parking. What do I leave the baseball? I left the baseball cards in my car. How important is the baseball card game to this podcast? Am I willing to walk outside the studio and grab? We'll see. So we have the baseball. I need to focus. And I have the screen here. That's distracting me. I'm looking into the camera. I'm going to let you know it's the date of August 14th. Correct, Emma?
Yeah.
It's August 14th. You're not supposed to say...
No,
It's August 15th. You're not supposed to say dates and times and all that, but hey, I'm evergreen. I'm natural. I'm aerobics. What do they call aerobic chicken? Antibiotic chickens. We have no biotics. What do they say in that?
the hormone-free one?
Hormone-free?
Something like that.
I'm hormone-free is what I'm getting at. I'm like hormone-free grass-fed chicken. I'm hanging out at Erewhon. Here's the deal, everybody. I'm excited to be here. I'm going to focus on the monitor, the camera, you. It's August. It's a smack dab in the middle of the dog days of summer, and it is 2018, Year of the Dog. Do not forget that. It's every 12 years. Year of the Dog. I was born in 1970. Year of the Dog. That's how you find out your Chinese zodiac. I was born in the San Fernando Valley. Kaiser Permanente Hospital, Panorama City. It's Year of the Dog in 70. 12 years later, 1982, Year of the Dog. I had a successful Little League season. I made the All-Star game for Tarzana Little League. I threw a one-hitter in the playoffs. I learned how to throw a changeup. I would say 1982, the summer of 82, that year was a big deal for Stephen Brody Stevens, and that was a Year of the Dog. 1994, 82, 94, 12 years, Year of the Dog. 94, I moved to Seattle, Year of the Dog, to begin performing my comedy, going for it. That's a highlight. That's a big moment in my life to say, hey, when did you begin your comedy career route? I waited until it was the Year of the Dog. For me, my personal Year of the Dog. What year? 94. Oh, so you were born in 70. Yeah, 70. So my official beginning for comedy was Year of the Dog. And I kind of just reminded myself of that. Again, really haven't hit home on me on that one. So that's 94. That's me moving to Seattle. Who else moved to Seattle in 94? I was told to go up to Seattle. You know who told me? My brothers of my father. My uncles. My uncles told me to go up to Seattle in 94. They said, Stephen, they support the arts up here. And these are guys who grew up in the San Fernando Valley. They went to Birmingham High School. They were around the valley when it was pure. Oh, Brody, what are you saying? Pure. Oh, back off. You want to go that route? You want to take it to Route 66? I'll knock you out. Brody, what's wrong with you today? Nothing's wrong. We're having a good time. You know that. So I go up to Seattle in 94. Who else goes up to Seattle in 94? A man by the name of Jeff Bezos, the richest. Now, I'm not saying he's a great. I'm not saying. All I'm saying is he's an important player in today's society, but he's not headlining the Comedy Store. Oh, you can't compare the two. Well, Dave Chappelle does a Comedy Store. Everybody knows him. Sebastian does a Comedy Store. Everybody knows him. Rogan does a Comedy Store, so everybody knows him. So me doing the Comedy Store and Jeff Bezos not doing the Comedy Store, that shows me something. That's what I think. So yeah, Bezos doesn't do the Comedy Store. But he's an important guy. Or he's done some pretty interesting stuff. So that's 94. Then what's after that? 2006, right? 94. By the way, I look pretty big right now. You know why? Because I'm exercising again. I'm lifting weights. Okay? You could say, hey, I'm going to do push-ups. I'm going to do pull-ups. I'm going to do that workout. Or you can say, you know what? The time is right to pick up the iron, to swing around the kettlebell. It's that time. Okay? So I'm not doing the Anthony Kiedis beach workout. I'm taking kettlebells and I'm pushing it. That's what I'm doing. And I feel good. You could even tell. Look at my shoulders. Look at my shirt. Look at my arm. Look at my chest. I'm definitely more solid this week. You could see just 2 weeks ago, my body's changed. Because I'm making the effort. It's the time. It's time. It's like those commercials that they have here on local radio for air conditioners. You have an air conditioning unit. You've had it for 10 years, 6 years, 8 years, 15 years. It's time. It's time. It's time to get a new one. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to hear it. You had a good run with it, but the BTUs are basically not there anymore. They're not producing. It's time. It's like you got to get it out to the pastures. Not sure what I was saying on that one. Do I have a guest booked? I don't know. I don't have social skills. Okay, I'm lazy. I'm addicted to I don't know what, to be honest with you. Now, I go to Seattle in 94. Bezos goes to Seattle. By the way, you're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens on All Things Comedy. And my numbers go down. I don't expect people to get it because they've been brained. Their brains have been washed. The only thing I've got washed are I was going to do some silly jokes. Okay, let me stay focused. You're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens. Yes. Okay. This kind of comedy, you have to, I'm energy based. I have monitors on right now. So if you think this guy's scattered, he's doing this, I have monitors by choice. I could shut down monitor screens, put on glasses, look straight ahead, and bring in more people. But right now, I don't think I want to bring in new people. I want to solidify what I have. It's not time to bring in new people. I'm not looking to gain fans. I'm looking to strengthen what I have. Didn't Hitler say that? I tell these comedians, I maximize what's given to me. I'm not going to waste my time and energy trying to impress you, trying to get you on. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. That's not, me personally, I can't. I'm stretching too thin. I'm going to leave myself exposed. Oh, maybe there'll be harder laughs. I won't be happy. I'm finding the balance. It's a slow build. I've done comedy before. I'm getting nervous. I've done comedy before, and they'll go, "Oh, Brody, that was great." Yeah, but it wasn't fun for me. It didn't feel good. I have those situations. Not all the time. I would say you either have comedy where it didn't feel good and it was funny, and then you have comedy where, I would say most of the time, I would say in terms of it feels good and it's funny, or you felt like you were a little off maybe, but it was still funny. You didn't feel great. When I go up and do my stand-up, I'm going to get back to the Earth Dog. I have my own goals. It's like John Wooden. I prepare. Winning is a result of the preparation. Getting the laughs is a result of that. Now, is it all about laughs? I guess as a stand-up comedian, I think for me, like I said, of course you want to get laughs. There's that. Then there's times where you go, hey, I just want to work on these jokes. Then there's times where you go, hey, I just want to speak well. Then there's times where you go, hey, I'm just going to do improv. Then you're going to do, there's so many different variables people don't understand. When you get to a certain point, when you have those audiences and those consistent sets, and you can definitely work on things. But if you're constantly trying to, you're on thin ice or you're on a short leash, you can't always experiment and be completely relaxed. You just can't. When I'm relaxed? Late at night at the Comedy Store when I'm closing the room because nobody is around. I'm relaxed. But you know what? You videotape it. You make a special out of it, and comedy's comedy. So I think I'm funniest, not funniest, but when I'm not trying to impress people. So that's what that special essentially somewhat was, the special that I have out now. You're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens on All Things Comedy. 2006, year of the dog. I'm 36. 2006. I'm playing baseball. I'm playing weekend baseball in a wood bat league. I'm 36 in year 2006, year of the dog. I played baseball. I threw a complete game, a 9-inning complete game as a 36-year-old in Venice, California, and I won the game. I think it was 3-2 or whatever. I forget the score. For me, Year of the Dog also symbolizes accomplishment, closure, bookmarks, pylons in your life's journeys. So when I threw a 9-inning complete game victory, for me, it was like, I'm good. I proved to myself I could still pitch, and I got it out of my system. I didn't have anything else I didn't need to strive for anything higher. I said to myself, and that's for me also doing all these warm-ups, doing stand-up, doing what have you. But for me to pitch 9 innings in 2006 as a 36-year-old, I was good. That was closure on my end. I had I have no visions of ever playing professional baseball. At that point, that was it. I'm not even probably up to that point. I think maybe in my around 30. I never thought I'd play again. Let's be honest. But competitively, I got it out of my system right there. A lot of people say, well, Brody, why don't you play, competitively? We have a weekend league. I already did it. I got it out of my system. And I did play a couple years ago in a charity event at Torrance High School, and I pitched, and I did pretty good. I gave up some shots, struck out like 4 or 5 guys, threw 5 innings against Torrance High School, a charity event that I was asked to play. But I hurt my toe, like my toenail came off from pitching. I hadn't done that for a while. My elbow I don't know if my elbow was okay after that or not. But the bottom line, it took a lot out of me. Baseball is something, if you're going to pitch 5 innings, 3, 4, 5 innings, there's the recovery. You have to prepare and you have to recover. And then you have to drive to the show, drive to the field, stretch. So I did it. And that was fun. But 2006, Year of the Dog. Correct? 94, 2004, tack on 2 more, 2006, 36, 9-inning complete game. (2004). And it brings us to, hold on. 2006. Now, 10 years later, 2016, tack on 2, 2018, Year of the Dog. I put out my special, got it out, complete closure. So I was happy about that. That's something that was all me. It wasn't other people. That's why I feel good about it's not the most amazing thing ever, but I did it. I accomplished it. And it happened in 2018. Year of the Dog. And all this stuff that's going on right now, it's crazy. If you had to say, is this the craziest year that you've had on the planet? Probably. I'll say that this is the craziest it's been in 12 years. I'll say that. I will say that 2018 is crazy. 2018's Year of the Dog. I've done 3,000 television audience warm-ups. I willed the Chicago Cubs to victory. I'm performing at the Comedy Store. Trust my instincts, folks. Something big is going to happen in 2018, Year of the Dog. And it's the midterms. It's all, and I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying be aware of it. They said Nancy Reagan believed in astrology. And say whatever you want. Ronald Reagan was a good president. I think looking back on time, he would be considered a good president. Even his detractors would say, you know what? He was good. We liked him. I think there's people like who probably would disagree. But in terms of like Trump, if you had to say Reagan, Bush, Trump, people like out of those three, Reagan was the one that people seem to gravitate to. I don't want this to turn into politics. We will take calls. I will reach out, but I just wanted to get some of that off my chest. And I know it's not much of a monologue. I was just kind of talking about, because it's volatile. People are I can get censored right now. 2 weeks ago, that wasn't on the table. Censorship is on the table, folks. Guys are getting check marks. Some of your favorite comedians and performers are getting check marks for just saying certain words. Everything is an algorithm. So I'm not saying, I have to think this stuff out here. Everything is an algorithm. So now eventually it's going to start being for everybody, is what it's going to be. You know, they got Kill Tony got censored. Brian Redband can't live stream or put, I don't know if it's live stream, Kill Tony for 90 days. That's 90 days. People make money, make their living, fill out tax forms from YouTube. That's not going to happen for 90 days because somebody showed their pubes, apparently. Okay, but whether that's an algorithm or not, the pubes algorithm, you're reading stories now that people are calling in check marks. So here's the deal. Let's say it all goes away, because I remember life before YouTube. And I was okay. But then YouTube came out, and then people started questioning things. It's called a Pandora's box. It's called the toothpaste is out of the container. It ain't going back in. So YouTube came out, opens everybody's eyes, which it did. The internet, Google, social, it opened everybody's eyes, and it got away from them, is what happened. I got to watch what I say. I could get cut off. I have to speak in code. I have to outsmart algorithms. And the reason why I can tell you these things, I can say these things, one, I live here in Hollywood, Los Angeles. I'm on the front lines of where stuff is happening. I'm right there. I'm in the trenches. I'm in the bunker. Whether I like it or not, I'm in it. If I go to the Comedy Store, I'm in it. That's a fact. If I drive home through Hollywood and I go to Burger King on La Brea and Sunset, I'm in it. So I'm seeing what's happening. I got to not look at the comments because I start to think. I'm not saying anyone's comment. I just got to focus. Because this is a very serious podcast, live Twitter thing. And it's also fun to do connections. My feeling is I got to keep it positive on this because it's a podcast. You know, you came in, but I could say, hey, this is a special report. This is a special report podcast. Didn't they do that during the LA riots? Arsenio Hall had Sean Penn. He's going, hey, look, we can't have the show today. We had riots, so Sean Penn's here. Sean, let's talk about what's going on in your movie, and then we come back, we'll talk about the riots. We'll be right back next with Sean Penn. We're going to talk about his movie, then we'll talk about the riots that are happening right outside the studio. We'll be right back on Arsenio Hall. We could have that moment. I think we're at that moment. You're going to say it's not. I'm saying Red Band censored. Alex Jones gone. The Stephen guy Mogolini gone. So I'm telling you now it's not even a conservative liberal. It's just voices. And I'm telling to people who fight me, I go, they're against you. It's going to come back to you now. And I'm telling you, that's where it's going to go. And well, Brody, you're sounding like Alex Jones. I'm sorry. Maybe he's telling the truth, and that's why they got rid of him. So I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm just letting you know, as somebody who's on the front lines, somebody who lives in the Valley, grew up in the Valley, born Jewish, raised Gemini. You see, I was supposed to be bar mitzvahed. I was supposed to go to Hebrew school. I was supposed to go to private school with a petting zoo on campus. I was supposed to go to some frickin' class where I meet other kids who have single parents. Supposed to do that. And then baseball came into my life. And I said, I want to play baseball. I like throwing the ball. I feel like doing that. I don't want to sit and worship something I don't see. You know what I see? I see the catcher's glove. That's what I see. That's my Bible, the catcher's glove. So I did. Parents divorced, didn't get bar mitzvahed. So you're looking at a guy who, born Jewish, raised Gemini. Born in year of the dog, I had no choice. Father, private investigator, born in the Valley. I'm second, third generation Valley, Hollywood. There's a reason why people came here. Not just because of the weather. It's the energies. This is the energies of the earth. Coachella, Joshua Tree, the ocean, the mountains, the desert, the sky, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Why do all the jets shooting up here? Vandenberg Air Force Base, Tesla, Hollywood magic. That's why they were drawn here. And was it Jewish people? Well, okay, look, yes, the Latino people were here first. You got it. You're here. Enjoy. But what else was drawn? Jewish people. Nice Jewish people who came here, who had the keys to unlock the secrets of Southern California. From the Hollywood Bowl to Chavez Ravine to the Arroyo Seco, home of the Pasadena Rose Bowl, to Marineland. Who's at Marineland now? Trump National Golf Country Club. It all happens here. That's why I have to do what I do. That's why I have to go off script. That's why I'm known as a great, I've heard, improviser. Name another city. I mean, it's a fact. You can say, well, not everything revolves around Hollywood, and I'm not defending Hollywood. I am saying Southern California, when you compare it to the rest of the world, we're right up there in the top 5, top 3, top 2, maybe number 1 on this planet. I think that's a fact. I think that's a fact that you could say Southern California holds the secrets to the galaxy. From the sea to the sky to the mountains to the core of the earth. Jet Propulsion Laboratory, here, Pasadena, in the mountains, over by there. Caltech. Earthquakes. Are they studying earthquakes in Illinois? I know they have earthquakes now in Oklahoma due to fracking, but they study them here. Las Vegas out in the desert, it's a magical place. It's a dangerous place. It's near here. Who discovered it? A Jewish guy named Warren Beatty, playing the character of Bugsy Siegel based on real. Bottom line is, don't hate it. I'm not asking you to fight it. I'm saying to acknowledge it. Acknowledge at one time. And I'm going to throw this in at you before you start. I'm going to have to appease these people. Jesus was Jewish. So if you're going to start going the route like, oh, he's talking about Jew stuff. F those Jews. You could have Christian leanings, right? I feel Christian Aryan leanings. Just to let you know, Jesus was Jewish. God said, if I believe that's what he said, my son's Jewish. So I don't want to get into that. But I got off the plantation. I got pushed out of the Petri dish. My dad did it. Don't you get it? My dad sold guns. Come at me. That's a revelation. Now, he was a private investigator. Sold guns. Carried a gun. Had passion. And people liked my father. And he taught me a lot. And he lived to 63. That's not long enough. He wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. But I'll tell you what, he always had a girlfriend. My dad hooked up. And he used me as bait. And I'll go on record and saying my father never, ever, ever touched me, made me feel weird, none of that stuff. And we showered together until I was in my early 20s. No, I'm kidding. So you saw the joke coming. Oh, you can't even joke about that. I'm joking of a joke and a joke. So, but that stuff is real. Now we bring it back to, I pulled you in with a laugh. Now we turn it into reality. That stuff is real. The kiddie porn stuff, the pedophilia. They just busted 300 priests in Pennsylvania. That's a fact. That's not conspiracy. That's not a rabbit hole. That's CNN. That's AP. That's local news. So we have an understanding of that, right? We have an understanding that 300 priests molested over 1,000, up to 1,000, whatever that seems to be the go-to number. 1,000 kids. 3 per priest. That happened. You had Penn State. That happened. Are these are made up things? So that's a fact. So now you got Penn State, huge. Pedophile thing, this thing, huge. I got to keep it basic here. You've got all I'm getting at is stop. You can't deny it. You don't call people crazy in conspiracy theories. You have to say yes, yes, yes. I can tell you why these things are happening. I can give you my ideas on solutions. Or you could just say, F it. Or you're brainwashed. You're going off the rails. I guarantee you right now, I've lost viewers. 27. People don't get it. Oh, you're a madman. Well, I'm crazy? Bill Burr doesn't think I'm crazy. He's letting me do I'm not saying he doesn't think I'm crazy, but I'm doing the podcast. I got a show tonight. The comedy store has me. I'm doing the Ice House with Red Band and Tony on Friday. What am I doing that's so crazy? I'm able to function in society. Year of the Dog 2018. I'm just giving you the information. I'm trying to keep you one step ahead. I've done 3,000 television audience warm-ups. I've tapped into the energy. And it's a lot of negative energy out there. Satanic energy. That probably goes on in Hollywood. There you go. You can't. It's what we call this, and what they call this. The walls are coming in. Is that what they say? The walls are closing in. Here's another thing. Just think of these things. What movies are shot in Pennsylvania? Didn't they shoot a movie, those M. Night Shyamalan movies? Aren't those all about like spiritual stuff? They say that prison where they filmed Seven or that Bruce Willis movie is haunted. Pennsylvania has some weird energy. Why are their fans so angry? I'm not blaming. I'm just saying, be aware. Be aware. And Pennsylvania is right in between Wall Street and D.C. So let's go ahead and swing by and say hello to a priest in Pennsylvania on our way back to Wall Street in the Hamptons. Oh, let's do a U-turn and go back. I've got a meeting with some anti-somebody councilman at Capitol Hill. I'm flying down from Wall Street, and I'm going through Pennsylvania. Don't you get it? I am angry right now. No, I'm playing, but just look into it. Don't be closed-minded. Now that you're seeing people getting censored, now that your guys are getting censored, number one, so that's got to wake you up a little bit. Number two, let's just stay positive. Let's see if we can take a phone call. Emma? Is it possible to get the phone number up? Oh, it is up? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see if we can get a phone call. I'm going to call out right now in the meantime and see what's going on the road. And I want to say thank you for listening to me. I know I'm babbling a little bit today. We're going to call out. Let's see what is up with. Wrong guy. Hold on. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Hold on. We're going to call Ligny. He's been away for a while. Here we go. Yeah, you can leave the number up. So if we get a call.
Brody, Steven.
Yes, Eric Aligny, welcome back to All Things Comedy presents the Festival of Sports Friendship with SBS here from Burbank, California. I am reaching out, and I have achieved contact with the well-known Eric Aligny. Checking in, reaching out. How are you doing?
Doing great, yeah. Just got back to Tampa and getting ready to do some shows on next Friday.
Next Friday?
Yep, at the Tampa Improv.
This Friday or next Friday?
Next Friday.
And you're going, where have you been? Where have you been since we last saw you? Eric Aligny calling from Tampa, Florida. No, Brody, you called me because you got into some weird stuff and you had to reach out and call me. Go ahead. So, Eric, you're in Tampa. What's the weather like?
The weather's pretty good today. We got a little bit of rain, which is normal here around 5 o'clock. Yeah, I went to Atlanta, stayed with my dad for 3 or 4 days, and then went to Roanoke, Virginia, stayed with my aunt for a couple days, and then went to New Jersey City and stayed in New Jersey City for a week and a half and went to New York every single day. So
you stayed in New Jersey City?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
and I would take the train to New York every day.
That's a cool place, New Jersey City. I heard about that. What's the rent like? Were you like at a hostel? Were you at an Airbnb in New Jersey City?
I stayed with this girl who's one of my friend's sisters, and she let me stay there for a week, and she was really cool, and I didn't have to pay anything.
Now, who did she have? Was she there in the apartment with you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Did she have a boyfriend or a husband or anything?
No, she's single and chill.
Okay. And she is friends with your ex-girlfriend?
No, she's friends with my one of my friends here in Tampa. She's actually the sister of one of my really good friends here in Tampa, and she reached out to me and said that, hey, you could stay at my place if you'd like for a couple days. And when I got there, she really liked me. We had fun, and she was just like, you can stay the extra time. I don't mind.
Wait, what do you mean you had fun?
Like she took me to a Yankee game. Went around to New Jersey City. She showed me where my friend grew up, and just really nice people, and introduced me to her uncles. One of her uncles is a dentist, and he's going to actually take care of my teeth for me. So that was really cool.
He's going to take care? Where are your teeth? Are they in a safe?
No, I have major teeth problems right now that I needed taken care of, and I've been looking around, and I found out he was a dentist, and we got to talking, and he was like, "I'll do it for half of the price, and I'll work out a payment plan for you." And so I told him that would be great. So I'm going to fly back to New Jersey City and get that taken care of in the next probably 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. What are the rents like in New Jersey City? Are they reasonable?
They're a little bit less than New York. They're not as reasonable as you would think. The place I stayed, she was paying $1,500 a month.
That's it?
Yeah.
Parking?
No parking. The parking was, I got a parking ticket while I was there, actually.
Are you going to pay it?
Yes. It's only $50. It's not like LA. It's not a huge expensive ticket like LA.
How was walking around New York City?
It was fun. It was just a lot of energy, a lot of great energy in the city, and I really love that you could just walk all over and see something new every single day.
Are people friendlier in New York? Are they because you've lived in Hollywood for quite a few years at least, for the most part, and you've walked the streets of Hollywood. Is walking the streets of Hollywood? Does it compare to walking the streets of New York? What is that?
Not really. There's less movement in Hollywood. There's more people are inside doing things in Hollywood than like New York. People are everywhere, and they're very friendly, actually. I found New Yorkers to be very friendly. Did you think
they may be rude or mean or going in?
From the stigma of what you hear your whole life, how New Yorkers are rude.
Yeah.
You kind of go into it like that, and I really only found one New Yorker that was rude, and all the other New Yorkers didn't like him because he was rude. So it was really fun.
Are you talking about a particular comedian?
No. We were in line for after the Yankees game. We went to the Subway, and we were trying to get our.
Would you get a tuna?
Subway pass.
Oh, you have a Subway pass Can you get for for tuna or teriyaki chicken?
Anything with rye bread, I'm good.
I don't think they have rye bread at Subway.
No, well then that's why.
Can I get a 6-inch rye, 6-inch tuna on rye? Is that something?
I don't know. They don't have rye bread at Subway? That seems a little bit off. But I don't eat at Subway, so I don't know.
All right, so you're at Subway and somebody was being rude. Did you feel safe on the subways? Yes, in New York.
It was pretty safe. There was times where they had to shut down the E, and I was on the E, and they had to shut it down, and I had to switch over. And then you have to get on the subway with a ton of people, and you're just cramped up, which that wasn't really comfortable. But
how did you with using the restroom? Were there bathrooms available in the city? How do you find restrooms walking around?
Yeah, there's bathrooms pretty much everywhere. It was.
I guess you go into Starbucks.
They go into any pizza shop or any local bar or whatever, and I really love the parks. Like Washington Square Park was really fun.
Now, what do the comedians think about Los Angeles? Is there a rivalry? Do they not like LA comedians? Do they say, "Hey, I don't like Hollywood"? What's the deal? What did you pick up on the few days there? Because I haven't been to New York probably for 3 years now. Hello? Do we lose Eric? I think I lost Eric. Hold on one second. Call him right back. You're listening to Eric Aligny. He's going to tell us the difference between comedians here in Los Angeles compared to comedians in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Aligny.
Hello?
Go ahead. Did you hang up on me?
No, I think my phone just messed up. No, but they were very giving. The New York comedians were welcoming to us. They welcomed us to their stage. I went with another Los Angeles comedian around to some open mics.
Right.
And they were giving to us. They were very nice.
So let me ask, you're out of Hollywood right now. You're on the road. You're away from the, whatever you want to call it, negativity, or I'm sure it's everywhere. Do you feel fine? Do you feel better not being in Los Angeles, away from the toxicity? or is it out there too? That's what I was asking. Like, can you walk? It seems to be like you walk around New York and it feels pretty alive. I
like that aspect of New York. It's very very alive. Like you very much feel that energy every day. But I miss LA. Obviously LA has a lot of great things to it too. The Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, Stephen Brody.
What do you think about everybody getting censored on Twitter these days, or censored on YouTube? I don't know if you follow that. That's what I'm saying. That's something I have to keep up with. Have you kept?
I heard about it, and I saw Leslie Jones's interview on The View, and I liked it. I thought she was really.
That was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago. News changes every hour. I'm talking about people getting censored and their YouTube pages taken down based off algorithms and a complaint. What is your take on that?
I don't like it because it's against what America stands for, which is freedom of speech. We have the soldiers and the people, they fight for the freedom.
But I don't think people like soldiers. They don't like the flag. It's like hard to, it's almost, the way they treat our soldiers. You're saying like, hey, it's about our soldiers. But I'm saying like, Eric, I don't know. I think that people aren't into that. And you as a guy who's
the military man is one of the reasons they fight is for our Constitution and for the freedoms that we have. And freedom of speech is a big part of that. And if you want to be an idiot and talk about like racist shit and like put racist stuff out in the universe, then you should have the right to do it, and we should know that you're that idiot. But I don't want to limit that person from being. I would rather them say it, and then I know, hey, that person's an idiot. But at least they have that freedom to be an idiot.
Okay, so now that certain idiot voices are, there are people. Yeah, so how do you? But it seems to be like a lot of people, not just that idiot, but it's also people that you may agree with that are getting censored. Yeah. How do you feel about? So what are you going to do about it? Where do you see it going? Are you just going to like go through life and say just ignore it? And
well, I look at it like it's a bubble, like everything else. It's a bubble, and eventually that bubble is going to burst. And people are getting really sick of being censored. So eventually that censor bubble is just going to blow up in their face.
Right. But what do you think about the people? Are you smoking pot right now?
No, I'm smoking a cigarette.
On the subway?
No, I'm at my house. I'm at my house in Tampa.
Gotcha. I'm just playing around. Okay, so we said the censorship. Where do you see it going? Do you think it's just going to, are you saying people are upset? What are they going to do? Are they just going to like go with it? Because people are putting stuff out on YouTube. They're surviving, they're making a living, and it's being taken away. What do you think? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is if you censor one thing and keep censoring the other and the other, eventually you will have nothing left to censor because everyone will be banned from. Because everyone will make something that will be offensive to some person.
But didn't we have what was going on before the internet was around, before YouTube? So let's talk about, say, before social media. We seem to be doing okay then. Are we trying to go back to that?
I mean, if they're going to continue to censor people and force them off the internet, then yeah, you get back to that. But I think what eventually happens is they find out that they're censoring all their people. They're going to lose millions and millions of dollars because you're going to censor one person that has millions of followers, then you censor another. You lose millions and millions of followers.
Okay, but you're putting a money value on it. I'm putting something more than just money on it. What I'm getting at is you censor. You get okay. So we want to go, but here's the deal. The information's out. I mentioned this earlier on today's podcast. The Pandora's box is open. People know, and now you're trying to like put it back in, and that's where they're freaking out. They go, ooh, they know what's going on, and guys like Alex Jones or Owen Benjamin or even somebody like that, they put it out, and it's like, uh-oh, and that kind of like censoring. To me, when you see companies being censored by governments or whatever, something's up. That's what I'm afraid of. What is up? Because
and I hate to be one of those people that brings up the Nazis, but that's exactly what the Nazis did, is they tried to censor everybody. Like the Nazis tried to take, and they would get rid of books, they would get rid of people's beliefs. They tried to make it so that they would have their one belief system.
Right.
And that's kind of like how I look at this. It's like you can't do that. There's a reason we have our freedoms. It's so that we can all be the one person that we want to be, a unique person. You can disagree with me all day, and I'd be more than willing to have an argument with you about it. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you you have to believe what I believe.
What's your feeling on the border wall, on immigration, on families being separated down in Mexico?
I think it should be easier for legal immigrants to enter our country, but we definitely need to be aware of immigrants coming into our country because of criminal immigrants, not the illegal immigrants that are criminals. That's who we need to be watching for.
You realize that's a racist statement, and we'll edit that out.
No, because that's my freedom of speech.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's just they're trying to confuse, and I feel like I'm aware of stuff, and it's hard for me. I like to sit and have fun. It's a podcast. We're gonna have fun. I forgot my baseball cards out in the parking lot, so I apologize for that. So Eric, do you miss Los Angeles? When you're away from the comedy scene, can you see yourself like, is it out of sight, out of mind? What's it feel like being away from the Comedy Store, living as a civilian, part-time at least, outside of the world of Hollywood?
It's been good and bad. It's been good, and there's been ups and downs, and there's been times where I miss LA, and I miss you, I miss the Comedy Store, I miss.
You miss me? Are you breaking down? Are you getting emotional?
I might get a little emotional here, but no, there's moments where I really do miss, and I also miss the being in my normal state of life. Like LA is where I live now, so I've been on the road this is day 60, so this is 2 months today, and so 2 months away from my actual home, it's tough. It's tough on the body. It's tough on everything. But I've driven 5,700 miles. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've gotten to do a lot of shows. I got a lot of opportunities I probably wouldn't have had if I would have just stayed in LA.
Right.
And I've got some comedians that reached out to me, like Earl Skakel and a couple others, who really just wrote me really nice messages saying how much they respect what I'm doing. And
do you tell them? Do you tell them is because Brody said you got to get out, you got to push it, you've got to expand. You mentioned that. I hope.
I mean, Earl knows that, but yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear that from the comedians you respect, especially it's not been easy. It's not been easy at all.
It hasn't been what? Being away?
Yeah, being away, but plus being like driving almost 6,000 miles, that takes a toll on your body. And then living on the road, living in people's houses and staying on people's couches and, pretty much couch surfing or living in my Prius. Like I've slept in my Prius probably 6 of those days.
Right.
And it's just like it toughens you and it makes you a better comic for sure. Like, and when I get on stage now, I really appreciate being on stage more than I did when I was in LA because I know the value of that stage time.
So when you talk about driving 5,000 or 6,000 miles, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about truckers who drive those distances? I mean, is it really that far? I mean, what did you do? You drove LA to
Reno, Reno to LA to Tucson.
Hold on. LA to Reno, Reno to LA, LA to Tucson, Tucson
to Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay, that's freaking 3 hours. Then where?
And that's 8 hours.
Okay.
Then San Antonio after that.
You drove cross country.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then all the way up to Boston.
Then you went so you drove up to Boston. That's a lot.
Yeah, Pembroke, Massachusetts. I went and visited my battle buddy's grave, and I saw his parents, and I saw the memorials they did for him around town. It was very.
Did you do
emotional.
A show?
No, it was a little too emotional for me to go. I cried probably most of the time I was there.
Don't take this the wrong way. Would you ever do like a comedy show out of like a gravesite, like to show your friend like that you're doing all right.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do that at his gravesite. It's just that was the first time I ever saw it. And that was the first time I was able to go to his house and meet his parents, and it was very, very emotional. It was.
I shouldn't be joking because I know it's emotional, but also Hollywood Forever Cemetery, they have shows, so it's not that out of the realm for me to say, hey.
No, I
would
don't
would have it made you felt better to like set up that portable mic?
No.
And put the
just because I wanted to do that just to have that visit and to like really soak it all in and just get to know his dad. And I got to go in his room. Actually moved me more than his gravesite. Just going in his room. And
they had you move stuff? They used you like to move furniture?
No, I went into his room. And his parents had like a whole shrine built for him, and it was really great to see. And like,
okay, who was this guy? Who was the guy? Your friend? Go ahead.
PFC Matthew Bean. He was
that sounds like
Drum, New York.
That's like a store. Matthew Bean. LL Bean.
Go. LL Matthew Bean. Okay,
so you met him where?
I met him at Fort Sill, Oklahoma in 2003.
So Fort Sill, you were in Oklahoma. What were you doing out there?
That's artillery training base. Fort Sill is where all the artillerymen for the Army and the Marines train.
So you trained out there at this base.
Mm-hmm.
And you shot guns and all that?
Yeah, as artillerymen, we shoot everything the Army has to offer. So cannons to rocket launchers to...
You shot a cannon?
Yeah, I was the gunner, so I shot what they're called a 1908, which is a smaller cannon.
Did you ever shoot a rocket launcher?
Yep, AT4.
Do you have an arsenal of weapons in your Prius?
No, but I do want to one day own an AR-15 because I love them. They're great guns.
What else do you want to say on this podcast that's going to alienate you? So far, you've done racist stuff, you're anti-immigration, and you're pro AR-15. Welcome to the show. So
I'm definitely pro gun. I'm definitely pro people want to own a gun, they can own a gun because responsible gun owners don't just go shoot people.
So, Eric, it seems like the longer you've been away from Hollywood you've been away now for 2 months, you've turned into a hardcore conservative. How quick does it happen out there on the road? I'm seeing it take place, and it's actually kind of refreshing.
It's the East Coast vibe.
So do you think Hollywood is, when you say like it is, you do say East Coast vibe, you're saying that, does it make you think and feel like, whoa, Hollywood is kind of the illusion, the Illusionati?
I mean, it's a small sample site of what America really is. Like, it's a very small sample of what America really feels. Because when I'm out here on the road, I've seen a lot more conservatives than I have liberals.
Oh, yeah, I think that's...
But I'm also been on the East Coast for about a month now, so...
They also say that, I was saying this, like, I feel like LA at one time, like the 40s or the 50s or what have you, this was God's country. This was the promised land. And good people were drawn here to Southern California. And then over time, it eroded and the positivity was hijacked by dark energies. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, and money.
Okay, dark. Well, and what do they have on money? The sign of the Illuminati.
There you go, the pyramids.
All right. Well, listen, Eric, I don't have my baseball card with me today. This has been a very serious episode with what's going on. This is almost like a special report podcast in a sense that everyone's being censored. We have people are stealing airplanes. What do you think about the, by the way, hold on. Emma?
Yeah.
So nobody's called in?
No one's called in.
Nobody's called in today.
No callers today, I guess.
That's really, really upsetting to me. Now, stay right here, Eric.
Are you periscoping it?
Well, what I'm going to do now we're going to go into echo chamber. And I think you're a good see if we can work out echo chamber. Now stay with me. Eric, we are going to go live. I'll say today, I just kind of like went in here to do it. I'm not saying this was an amazing podcast because I don't think it was. There's just too many things going on in my head. But at least we'll do echo chamber right now. And
how was Kansas City?
Kansas City was pretty cool. I think today, looking back on it, would have been a good day for a guest. But I also I'm also fearful. I don't want to get, people are. I don't think it was. There's just too many things going on in my head. But at least we'll do echo chamber right now. Okay, hold on. Eric?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, we're setting up echo chamber. We're setting up echo chamber.
Yeah, Brody special on Amazon and iTunes.
Yeah, promote it. Are you not promoting the special, Eric?
Watch Valley Vibes, all things comedy. I'm promoting it right now. I just promoted it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like I gotta bring.
Hold on. We're setting up echo chamber. Hold on, we're setting up echo chamber. Eric, I need you to say stuff. Start talk. Two.
I told people you need to go buy Stephen Brody Stevens Live in the Main Room on Amazon or iTunes. You can also get
Hold on.
all things comedy, Valley Vibes.
We're setting up echo chamber. Now, Eric, you're
setting up echo chamber.
You're in Atlanta or Tampa?
Eric, I need you to say stuff.
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Start talk. Two.
Not Tampa near Reseda.
We just lost the frickin' battery life. Son of a gun. Stay with me. Everybody stay calm. Hold on. We're setting up echo chamber.
Now, Eric, you're setting up echo chamber. You're in
Hold on.
Atlanta or Tampa? Eric, I need you to say stuff.
Eric.
Start talk. Two.
Yes.
2. Check. Give me a check. Eric, 2.
Not Tampa. One check,
We just
two.
lost the frickin' battery life.
Did you watch Roast Battle last night?
Everybody stay calm.
I have it recorded. I'm going to watch it.
No, on the Periscope.
Hold on.
Oh, no, I didn't.
We're setting up echo chamber.
We're setting up echo chamber. 2. Check. Hold on. Eric, hold on for 1 second.
check. Give me a
2.
check.
Check.
Eric,
2.
One check, two.
We lost the frickin' thing.
Did you watch Roast Battle last night? Everybody stay calm.
I have it recorded. I'm going to watch it.
You are?
On the Periscope.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I got it recorded. Oh, no, I didn't.
What do you have it on?
We're setting up echo chamber. Two.
Comedy Central.
Check.
Check. Eric,
Yeah.
Hold on.
are the comedians okay in
Eric,
Tampa?
hold on for 1 second. Two. Check.
Yeah.
Two.
There's good comedians in Tampa.
We lost the frickin' thing.
Where have you been eating? Like you go to Potbelly?
I've been eating a lot of wings. Mackenzie's Wings.
Is that Irish?
What do you have it on?
It's a bar I go to, but they have the best hot wings in Tampa. Just awesome wings.
Are the comedians okay in Tampa?
Do you ever go to Side Splitters or the Improv? Like what place?
Improv.
We lost the frickin' thing.
Bob,
Where have you been
the
eating?
guy
Like,
who
you go to
runs the Improv in
Potbelly?
Tampa is a really good dude.
The guy who runs a Tampa Improv is a good guy?
Yeah.
Is that Irish?
It's a bar I go to, but they have the best. But I like the Tampa Improv is one of the coolest stages I've been on.
Oh, really? Isn't that like a 3-level club? Like they have a balcony?
Yeah, it seats about 300 and some people. It's big.
Now, is it humid every day in Tampa?
The guy runs a Tampa
Yeah,
Improv
pretty
is a good
much.
guy?
Pretty humid. I sweat a lot when I go outside. So. The Tampa Improv is one of
Do you wear a
It's been
t-shirt?
nice-
Do you have to wear 2
Oh, really?
T-shirts?
Isn't it like
Yes.
a 3-level club?
It's
like
been
they have a
nice today
balcony?
though, because it's been kind of overcast. It seats about 300 and some people. But that means it'll be really humid tomorrow.
Now, is it humid every day in Tampa? The guy runs a Tampa Improv
Pretty
is a
much.
good guy?
Pretty humid. I sweat a lot when I go outside. So the Tampa Improv is one of
Do you wear a t-shirt? Do you have to wear 2 T-shirts? Isn't it like
Yes.
a 3
2 T-shirts.
club?
It's
like
been
they have
nice
a
today
balcony?
though, because it's been kind of overcast. It seats about.
What's the weather like today?
But again, I'm not a weatherman.
Now, is it humid every day?
You're not a weatherman. Fritz Coleman?
No. Meteorologist? Is that what they're called?
All right, hold on. Eric. Hold on. 2 T-shirts? What do you mean by that?
Stephen Brody, Stevens on Amazon and iTunes.
What's the weather like today?
90 degrees.
I'm not a weatherman. Hold on. All right, hold on. Eric?
Yeah.
I got to go to Sound Effects Theater. So, good job on the phone call.
2 T-shirts.
2 T-shirts.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What's the weather like?
2 T-shirts sounds like the name of a comedy album.
2 T-shirts. They open up for 3 Doors Down.
All right,
Hold on.
Eric?
Eric.
Yeah.
I got to go to Sound Effects Theater. So, good job on the phone call. Good job on the phone call. I'm going to go to Sound Effects Theater. Is what I said. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Thanks for calling. It's always great talking.
2 T-shirts. They open up for 3 Doors Down. Did you see? Hold on. Eric, go ahead, caller.
Oh, yes.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thanks for calling, Emma.
Good job on the phone call. I'm going to go to Sound Effects Theater. Is what I said. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Eric, I'll see you.
Later, Brody.
Did you see? Okay, I'm driving myself nuts here.
Eric, go ahead, caller.
Eric, go ahead, caller.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Good job on the phone call. I'm going to go to Sound Effects Theater. Is what I said. Did you hear that? Yes, I did.
Okay, Eric, I'll see you.
Okay, Eric's gone.
Did you see? Okay, I'm driving myself nuts here. Eric, go ahead, caller.
Stay with me.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Okay. Now, hold on. Hold on.
Eric's gone.
Hold on. Does that come out over the Periscope? What's that?
Stay with me.
The sound effects?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hear the horn?
Yeah, you should.
Let me hear the. They hear the. Okay.
Hold on.
Play the duck.
Does that come out over the Periscope?
I think it did.
What's that? Yeah. They hear the horn?
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Now we're gonna do this. Stay with me. You're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens. Sound Effects Theater. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sound Effects Theater with Stephen Brody Stevens. He is a good guy, born in the San Fernando Valley. He went to Tarzana Elementary. He took a dump in his pants in first grade. But they never saw him again. And he feels great about it. But those former students certainly don't. Okay. It's a party. I am so thirsty right now. I'm reading a book. Come here. Snap. I'm just getting warmed up on Sound Effects Theater. Hold on. Hey, turn off your alarm, man. Hey, jerk, turn off your... come here. Totally off right now. Totally off. Let's go bowling. Not a good sound. Let's bite into an apple. Not a great sound. Hello to the Reseda Rooster. I'm tired. I gotta get up. Oh, I can't. I mean, I just need to sleep about another more 30 minutes. Hold on. Wait, somebody's at the door. Coming. I said I'll be there in a minute. Okay, now I'm upset. Excuse me. I got to get used to these sound effects. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, I got a special guest. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephen Brody Stevens, and I'm feeling good. I went to Reseda, and I graduated high school in 1988. I was born in 1970, Year of the Dog. Year of the Dog takes place every 12 years. 1970, 1982, 1996, 2000, 1994, 2006, 2018. Hey, there's Serena. Ooh, there's Martina. Ooh, there's Venus. There's Chris Everett Lloyd. There's Billie G. King. There's Aranka Kornikova. There's Tracy Austin. There's Pam Shriver. That's all I could think of. Oh my God, look out. Hey, that guy just tried to run me over. Did you see that? That truck just tried to run me over. Jerk. I got to get used into, like, it's, I'll tell you what, sound effects theater, you got to bring it. You got to be ready to go. Yes. Hi, I'm here for my hotel. I rented it out. It's the Vagabond Inn in San Luis Obispo. I ordered it through Travelocity. Yes. Come on in. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, you're going to talk crap to me? You're going to talk crap to me. Come here. Get out of my face. I just whipped you with a rope. Jerk. Well, that sounded weird. I didn't mean it like that. It's just a rope. It's the rope. I'm thinking of frickin' Indiana Jones, and you took it someplace else. I'm jumping in the water. I'm out of here. I'm jumping back in the water. I'm tired. Hello? Hello? I'm checking in. All right, I'm going to whip you, man. What? Ow! You're up now, right? I'd like a room, please. Really struggling through sound effects theater today, I'll be honest with you. Ow! What was that? All right, listen, I probably should get a guest. I'm a little out of it today. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Emma?
Yeah.
How long have I done so far?
You've been going for about an hour and 17 minutes.
I think that's pretty good, but I do want to call my mother. I'm going to call my mother. Here's the thing. I'm scattered because there's just so much different news happening. There's jobs, there's sports, there's money, there's weather. There's just a whole lot of craziness going on. And if you aren't anchored, you can get pulled into it. But you could also say, hey, I'm going to jump into the water. And I know it's kind of rough, but I've been training for it. So there's different ways. I'm just saying, like today, I think that I feel like the world or comedy or what have you, they're waking up a little bit. I don't want to be. I just want to do what I do. I don't want to be like changing people. I'm calling my mother. I guess she's not home. Hi, Mom. I'm on the podcast, so don't say anything crazy
okay.
if you can't talk or you don't want to talk. I just wanted to say hello.
Well, I can't, but I'm all right.
Where are you, lying down?
No, it was in the kitchen.
What are you doing? Cooking lunch? Making lunch?
No, it was cleaning out the dishwasher. And then that's it. And then I got to get dressed. I'm not really dressed. And take the dog out pretty soon. So, You're on the podcast now?
I'm on the podcast. I've been a little scattered today, I haven't been in here for a couple weeks, so
Yeah.
I'm a little like loopy, but I called a couple friends and we spoke, and I felt like you're popular on the podcast, and we haven't spoke on the podcast for a month or so, and people are, they like to hear about you and Daisy, and you're doing well.
We're okay. We're fine. It's sort of funny weather or something. I don't know. It looks like it's overcast. I had to go out. I was out this morning, but they've announced several times on the news that there's severe thunderstorms, but I don't know.
So let me ask. So, Mom, you get up. I talk to you pretty much every day, and you go out and you run your errands. You go to your appointments that you need to go to. You go to your hairstylist. You go to the grocery store. You go to your bank. You do all those things. And
Right.
how do you do it because you have to do it, right? Nobody's doing it for you.
That's correct. Right. So what does that mean?
I'm just saying, what I'm getting at is I think you actually you're more active than me. I go out at night and I do my stand-up, but every day you're out doing stuff.
No, I don't go every day. I used to, but I don't anymore. I only go out a couple times a week now.
You got your car, did you get your car smogged? You went to the smog check, right?
I didn't hear you.
Didn't you got your car smog checked?
Oh, my smog, yeah.
So you did
I
that?
I got that yesterday because I had to.
Yeah.
And then I had to send it in. So, it had to be in by Friday. But they send it in. So.
And then you go to Trader Joe's, right? Didn't you go get milk?
Yeah, I went to Trader Joe's and I went to a Walmart.
You-
All in, one day.
You see what I'm saying? I don't do that.
Yes, you do.
No, I do a podcast, and then at night I go out and do some stuff. But you're actually running errands and getting things done. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying you do. And
But I don't do it all the time. I have to go get a blood test, and I keep forgetting now. I look at my calendar. This is right across the street, but I have to go in and get my blood drawn. So I write it on the calendar. And,
Right. No,
they're taking.
yeah. Go ahead.
They're going to Macy's Friday. I may go. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I go with them sometime because it's easier. Then I don't have to go. Drive myself.
But when I put that photo up the other day, when we went to Islands, right? I put the photo up. We went to eat last week. And then one of my friends, a radio guy, he said that it was impressive that you stay down there, like that I just realized that you live year round in Palm Springs. Not a lot of people can do that or do that, correct? I mean, more and more are doing that, but the fact that you have done it for 20 years or 30 years is pretty impressive.
What do you mean, staying down here?
Yeah, through the summers.
Well, yeah, but less and less people, I think, are going places, different places. Some of them have second homes, but a lot of that is they don't do that as much anymore. They do, but not as much as it used to be.
Right. Well, but he brought that up and go, wow, you do stay down there in that heat. It's 115 degrees, and you.
Yeah, but it isn't all that hot all the time. Plus the fact, you learn to go out when it's cooler in the morning and get it done, and then you don't have to go out later.
And then you walk Daisy at least twice a day.
Well, I do. I walk her outside.
I don't walk a dog. I don't have a dog to walk. You do. That's an activity you do. I don't go to Costco. You do. I don't have a Costco card. You do.
Well, but I don't go that often anymore because I don't do all that stuff. So
I don't go to a hairstylist. I cut my own hair. You go to your hairstylist. I've been filing my own nails. You go to your nail salon. So you're out there doing stuff, and I just want to say keep doing that. Stay positive, and I wanted to call you today, and I know I always like checking in with you, and the listeners like you, and they like Daisy.
I'm tired today, though. I get, sometimes I want to take a nap. In fact, I didn't really get much done until I didn't get up today till almost 9 o'clock. I'll be honest with you. And she barked. She woke me up, and I thought, oh, I got to get out. So I hurried up and threw on some clothes so we could get out.
So there you go. Daisy's your alarm clock.
Yeah, I took her out, thank God. She holds it, you know. Now she's pretty good. I just gave her a treat now because she, I don't know, she was staring at me. It looked like she wanted something. And so now I don't want to take her out until about 5 if possible. Then I don't need to take her out again. If I take her out at 5:30 or 5:20, then I don't really take her out again. She could hold it, which is good. In this weather, you know, when it's better, then I'll go back to taking her out 3 times a day. Sometimes I take her out at night, depending.
You're very responsible. You taught me well. I know I could pick it up a notch though. But when I see you doing these things, it you know, it lights a fire under me sometimes. If my mom can do it, I can do it.
It is important to be responsible. No matter what you do, you need to do what has to be done, no matter what. I mean, I have always done that, even though I haven't felt like it. If I had to do something, I do it. So. I've told somebody that you're in your 80s, right? That's correct. I'm 87.
You're 87.
Yeah.
So, and I tell you, just keep doing what you're doing, keep walking, and keep drinking water. That's my advice to you.
Well, I need to drink more water. I don't, but I should. But I do what I have to do. I've always done that my whole life. I never, you know, if I had to do something and needed to be done and I had to do it, I would do it. I don't go in to bed and cover my head with, you know, blankets and bury my head in the sand. And you don't do it either. If you have to do something, you do it. That's what life is. Yeah, I can't just wait until you want to do something. If it has to be done, you do it. That's all. So, you know, I had 2 kids. You know, I had to feed you and do whatever you needed. So, no matter what, and work besides. So, you know, I did it.
You did it, of course. I tell people, I go, my mom did it.
In between, I did my other time. I used to go out and play tennis at night after you guys, you know, were older. I could get out, and you know, early evening, play tennis. Yeah,
you would play tennis. You were good. Well, listen, Mom, I wanted to check in. We're going to wrap this podcast up. I'm going to put on my friend real quick, but I know you want to talk more. You just started getting warmed up, I could tell, but I want to get my friend Brenton in. And
go on, get it. My little girl Daisy is staring at me. She wants to come up.
Little Daisy's a good girl. Brenton has a dog.
Jumping up on top of the couch.
Because she knows I'm talking to you. Okay. All right, Mom. I'm going to have my friend on the show right now. And everyone's.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Love you. Talk to you later.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There she goes, my mother. And walking in right now. I thought you forgot about me, maybe. But I've been kind of like babbling a bit today. I could have used you earlier.
I'm here now.
I think his mic's not on. Is his mic on? Go ahead. 2. Check. Brenton, 2.
Hey.
I can't hear Brenton in my ears. 2. Check. 1, 2. We're going to have Brenton Biddlecombe. We went to a wedding this weekend up in San Luis Obispo, Central Coast, California.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
And we're having a little bit of a mic issue. Everybody stay calm. It's a major moment here with the mics. No, I'm playing. But we went to the wedding. That was good. It was social. We were outside of... Is the mic on?
Check. Yes.
You've seen him before. You've heard him before. We like having visitors. This is a quality guy.
You killed, by the way, at the wedding. That's
Thank
not
you.
an easy situation, and you absolutely owned it.
Well, thank you very much. Our friend Stephen Randolph got married up in San Luis Obispo, about 3 hours, 3:15 north, 3 hours and 15 minutes north of L.A. So we were out of L.A. and really a historic place. Madonna Inn, where we went to the wedding, is historic. My mom knew about it. It's been there for years and years and years. It was like on the highway. So yeah, we went to
1958. The pamphlet said.
Oh, that was since 58?
Something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was even before that, like the
No,
gold rush.
I think the lady that founded it, she's still alive.
Madonna? Oh yeah,
I believe so.
Madonna's alive.
Yeah.
She's like 60. She has good
Not
album.
that Madonna.
Oh, different Madonna.
Yeah.
But it's like right there on the highway because I think they have toll booths. Like as you were walking in, did you see those booths there? I think those were like toll booths from the past because it was like in the middle of the highway, and you take the road from the hotel out to the street, and it leads it right onto the 101. It's like it went through there. It's kind of interesting. There's some interesting history on the Central Coast.
Because you weren't at the hotel.
I've stayed at a place called the Vagabond Inn. Vagabond.
How was that?
I was a vagabond. I'm not speaking that well, by the way. I'm kind of like not articulating well today. I want to let you know up front. It was fine. It was fine for what I needed. It hit the spot. I just needed a place to rest. I'm sure I could have. I mean, I did the comedy show the night before. Did the Comedy Store. I didn't want to miss my spot. I kind of like wanted to do a spot because.
Did you have the closing spot?
I did. So I didn't specify I was all right with that. So I figured I'd be home by, say, 2:30 maybe, and then get 6-7 hours sleep if I'm lucky, and then go up there. But I knew I had a room. I was just gonna knew I'd get some place to sleep. But it was nice. It was just good to get away from. It was good to do a comedy because there's a lot of guys from the Comedy Store up there.
Yeah, comedy weddings are really fun.
Have you? I mean, is this? You've been to a few, right?
Been to a few, yeah. It's fun seeing everybody outside of the Comedy Store in a situation where they can just relax and enjoy themselves.
Right. Now, where do most of these comedy weddings take place?
The other two that I've been to have been in L.A.
Yeah, it's a little different when it's in L.A., right?
Yeah.
It's a little. It's not the same.
This was probably the most fun I've had at a wedding.
It was, right?
Yeah.
Because
I've been to good ones. I've been to a lot of good ones, but this one was, it was just particularly fun. The hotel was so nice.
It really was, right?
Yeah.
It was. The wedding was silly, fun, it had heart. It was light, had some heart.
It was very light, but at the same time, like it got deep, didn't it? Like their vows were funny, but really, like you saw how much they love each other. Yeah,
they are in love with each other, and it's hot and heavy. I mean,
definitely.
I'm not saying it's a Pete Davidson, Ariana.
I was standing
Huffington.
next to the ring bearer who had to have been like 6 or something.
The little kid, yeah.
As she was giving Stephen a lap dance.
Yeah, there are a couple awkward moments like that, but the kid grew up fast. They're performance artists. They really they appreciate the arts. They like that. Stephen comes from, and he talks about it. Like there's some people in Stephen's world who had they not abuse drugs and but everyone's had that. I'm not saying drugs, but recovery. That's a word. And those people are like good people. If you're going through recovery, you really got to surround yourself with positive people. So you have these people. Like I meet a lot of Stephen's friends. I don't think I'm saying anything that's that he hasn't spoken about. I don't think.
Or they haven't. I mean,
they talk about
his best man KC. He's been in recovery for I think he said 8 years. He was pretty open in his best man speech about everything he had gone through and how Stephen had helped him. So. I don't think you're going to say anything that isn't already out there about anybody.
Well, it's the podcast too, and it's live on Periscope. But the deal is, Stephen's quality. I missed part of the best man speech. I was outside pacing.
You were prepping.
I was prepping. But Stephen's a good guy. He's good people, and he's from this area. I take a special connection with Stephen, who's a door guy at the Comedy Store. You were a door guy. At one point, you're still there, but you're not a door guy anymore.
Yeah,
Stephen's been a door guy. He's from here. I have a lot of connections with Stephen, so I felt good about the wedding. I felt like a proud moment. I get it. I have my own special relationship. And then when he asked me to speak at the wedding, I knew I was going to go up there and speak, but I didn't realize because I didn't really practice for it. I figured I'd just go up and talk. That's what I normally do.
Yeah.
The only thing, and I was saying this...
But you were so great at it.
Yeah.
Because you weren't dirty. You're not dirty ever when you perform.
No.
So you're perfect in a wedding situation, and you just went around the room and basically worked the room.
I did work the room. Yeah, I hit up a couple comedians. I talked about Steven's mother's husband, who's a batting practice pitcher for the Dodgers, and so I've known Pete. That's his stepfather's name. That's a joke, stepfather, but it's really not his stepfather. It's his mom's husband. But I touched on that. But the thing was, like me, this is strictly performer talk, and even right now where I talk about, I'm slurring my words, or because we're so in tune with our body and how we speak. And I felt maybe because I had something to drink there at the party, or maybe I was in anti-anxiety medication, whatever. I wasn't in stand-up mode, which was fine. I don't think anybody was in stand-up mode. But I felt like it was good. It was very good, and people are happy, and I'm thankful. But as a performer, intimate feeling performer, I know like I could have even done even more. I mean, I could have mapped it out and maybe even have set it out a little bit, had an idea, and maybe have been a little loopy recently for various reasons. That being said, I know people liked it, but I'm feeling like
I enjoyed it, and I got a little bit of it. If anyone wants to go watch, I put it on the Comedy Store Instagram.
Yeah,
about a minute of your set.
I mean, do you feel like as a performer, like times where you're like not feeling that good, like you're just not firing all, like today's podcast, to be honest with you, I don't feel like I'm firing all cylinders today. I'm a little loopy still, but people may not notice unless I bring it up. You know, it's that kind of thing. That's why comedy is like, it's a weird thing. And I want to be, any kind of like adjustment with the medication or anything, it's like, or you could like, I mean, when you're performing, that's the thing. Like I try to tell people, you should listen to comedians because we are in tune with a lot. You're either in tune with the room, or you're in tune with yourself, or you're in tune with both. Hopefully you're with both, but you're in tune. That's why comedians, I feel like, if we have something to say, it's worth listening to. What do you think about that? Brenton Biddlecombe.
That's a perfect assessment.
Now let me ask, the wedding. Let's get back to the wedding.
Yes.
Did you do any activities like outside of the? We went to the beach. That's the thing. Like I went to the beach with 3 other guys, Ari and Abby and Luke, 3 other comedians, and we went to the beach and we walked around. It was nice. It made me think like I should do that more often here in Los Angeles because it felt, well, plus you're driving, so I guess driving can take stuff out of you, drain you a little bit, a 3-hour drive, let's be honest. But the fact that I was able to do a couple of those activities were nice. Yeah,
we went for a nice long walk and basically explored we stayed at the hotel, me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
So we walked around there. We were up at the pool. The gardens. There's like a ranch right there with horses. We went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we watched that a little bit. I mean, it was just nice. We did almost nothing, but it felt like we were doing a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just relaxed.
It was just it was a good vibe. That's the thing. Like the mix of the comedians with Steven's family and his friends are good people.
Yes.
I wouldn't be there if it wasn't like good people. And Steven has been, just through the years that I've known him, he's kind of like into the same things I'm into. He gets these little connections that I talk about. So we have a good time with it. So it's always nice to see, like, even talking to some of the door guys. I always talk about apple cider vinegar. I take it, and I saw Ruben, one of the door guys. I go, Ruben, you look like leaned out a little bit. And he goes, yeah, Brody, I'm taking apple cider vinegar. And he's taking it and he's losing weight, and then you hear that like Don Barris is looking good. Don, it takes a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So, and then even Tony, who I butt heads with. Tony's like a brother. Tony is sincere and told me some nice things last night. So it does feel good to know that like people listen or appreciate it. Like when they see things like, and then it gives me as a performer knowing like people do listen, like the power of being able to like believe in something positive or any kind of message. No?
Yeah.
You're emotional now, Brent. What's going on?
Oh, I'm just recapping. It was just a really good time. I'm actually sad that we're back in the grind.
Yeah, what is it? Isn't it? It is a grind, right? And it's crazy right now to be a comedian, right? It's a grind.
Well, my job personally yesterday was insane.
What was insane? Yeah.
Well, I'm working 2 full-time jobs and then doing stand-up, so it's tough.
Okay.
So like yesterday was just.
I forgive you if you take
busy.
a minute. If you take a minute to like zone out, I forgive you.
But it was here at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays are my busy day because that's when the store lineups come out. So I'm putting that on the website. Had a meeting at the store at 10.
Right.
And then got here and did the podcasting, did the promoting, did all the ATC stuff. Left here at 6. Went home. Cooked dinner. And then had to go I had a show at Westside, and then from there I had to go back to the store. We were shooting promo for Bert last night.
It's draining.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
Until about 1 shooting photos of the shows.
It's like never ending.
Never ending.
And so when
social media shuts down,
it's 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you have to cherish those moments of getting away.
Yes.
And
you really appreciate them.
But it's even me. I went to Kansas City past week to go see some baseball games and do a show last Wednesday, and I take some photos, and the next thing you know, it's like you got to. I went to a couple museums. Like I went to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. I went to the Kansas City Art Museum, and that's stressful. I got to get those photos up. You think like, oh, that even.
Did you see, by the way, the Big Al kid?
Yeah, I'm Big Al. I hit dingers.
Yeah, that was so good.
His last name's D'Elia.
Yeah.
I wonder if Chris has made a tweet about it.
He doesn't really like sports. I bet he's not even aware of it. He doesn't watch anything.
I know. I saw Chris yesterday. I was going to ask him. I said, "You see this D'Elia kid?" But he doesn't have the apostrophe. He might. His dad's a big baseball fan. Yeah. But this kid is pretty popular. I'm sure.
He was on Kimmel.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll probably cross D'Elia's timeline somewhere.
Yeah.
That kid was funny. My name's Big Al. I hit dingers.
And then he hit dingers.
He did hit a dinger.
He backed it up.
We need more kids like that. Because then they had a kid who's 14 who's running for governor. Did you see that?
No.
He's running for governor in New Hampshire or Vermont. I think it's Vermont, maybe. New Hampshire or Vermont. He's actually he's on the bill. And
so they don't have an age restriction.
On certain couple
but
states.
They will after this.
Maybe.
Yeah. That'll come into law, especially if he gets close to winning.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to win.
But I saw Big Al talk, and then you see this kid, and he was he's already like a politician, and I don't know where he is if he's Republican or Democrat. I think he's Democrat, but either way, it's just like people. It's refreshing to see like a Big Al kid. That kid, it was just funny.
So much fun.
And baseball is a fun sport. I like that. Baseball. These kids play Little League, and it's just crazy right now. I think comedy is just so. I'm like, I have fun. Actually, I have fun. I think it's crazy but you have to be on social media. That's the thing. It's like, they make you tweet. I'm not saying they make you, but check your emails, do this. It's like, it's hard sometimes. Like when I began comedy, this was not part of it. This was not the whole social. It's good.
That's where the audience is. So
right.
You have to adapt.
You have to adapt. I do adapt, but I feel like I can do more. And then you start thinking are they reacting? Are they listening? Are they laughing? You don't know. And then I feel like, I'm overdoing it. It's a necessary evil, I suppose.
Yeah.
But guys are getting censored, even like Kill Tony that I was saying on the podcast earlier. They put their live stream up on YouTube, and it got taken down.
Now, is that because someone who was on the show was...
Well, there was a pube. There was something like a violation, but it was kind of minor.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking about, like where we're going with things like censorship and how they're cutting away stuff. And it's just comedy. It's like we're in the front lines. I'm saying, whether you like it or not, you almost have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And you have to either build up a shield to it or just keep having fun. I try to show people having fun, doing shows. I have a good time, but I don't have my huge audience. I'm not a huge guy. But I can adapt. I can play those alternative rooms. I can play the weddings, and I can play the comedy deals, comedy stores.
I honestly think I've seen you in every scenario now.
Yeah. But that's, it's like, yes, you got to have jokes for those, but it's also adapting, adjusting.
Well, it's just a type of energy that you have.
Yeah.
If you have an energy where you're staying up and you're like, we're at the wedding, we're having a good time,
but
people are going to go with that.
But when you do
Doesn't
like
really
when
matter if you have jokes or not.
But if you do an alternative room, and then there's a club room. Well, just say an alternative room. Some of those alternative rooms, they don't want anything to do with the clubs. And some of the clubs, they don't want anything to even still. It's less and less, but even still. So to be able to play, and there's not a lot who play both. I don't think that play both.
No.
And I think.
Well, play both and play both well.
Play both well. Because it is energy, and it shows. It's like if you're. I think if you're a good person, crowds will sniff. They'll sniff out. If you're playing both, you're not being sniffed out. I'm not being sniffed out by the alternative kids. I'm not being sniffed out by the club guys. And I'm doing it. Whereas like most people, why am I able to float in both of those circles? And then it seems like society, they're not. They don't want to mix up. I'm in both. I'm happy. Take a little baseball, take a little drumming, take a little pot, take a little whatever. It's like take a little bit of both. I try to adapt, whereas I think some people are so rigid in their choices. I don't know. It just seems like I try to show that way, but I get pushback.
You're much more open than most. I think people like what they like, and they don't like to try new things. They don't like to push the boundaries and experiment.
Right. But what I'm getting at is a lot of comedians they're scared or they're not happy. They're scared or they're not happy or they're worried. And then even with today's climate, even tack that on. Mm-hmm. I'm saying I have fun. I still have fun. I'm not playing my audiences. Remember, I got to go in there and try to impress these guys. So, and I think the way to do that is to focus on the positive, not focus on the negative. You focus on the positive. That's proven formula. It's not like I'm picking out negative and, the alternatives love when I'm the negative. And then this rad loves when I'm, no, they like positive. So it's like, I'm trying to show people you can do it. And I'm not I'm different. I don't think I'm like I'm like a little bit of an outsider, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying being quote unquote outsider should take some of those. To be that outsider, you can't be negative. I feel like I say my outsiderness is focusing on the positive. Mm-hmm. So that's what I try to get, words, positive words. And it's like when people are just so negative. But here's the other thing. You got to push through. Now, Brent, you're good. You're good. You get it. Are you holding back? Are you afraid right now?
On stage?
You're cold right now. I can tell you're
cold.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Brenton's cold.
He's right there.
So why don't we turn that on? We'll do a couple more minutes. We'll wrap it because you're cold. Do you mind if we turn that off because Brenton's cold? Emma? That's what it is. See, I picked up on that.
You're a Jedi.
But that's just common sense.
Jedi of energy.
I just kept picking. I go, Brenton, what's wrong? And then I come back and but
you're reading my body language.
Yeah. You're cold.
Thank you.
Do you think other people would have noticed that or not paid attention?
No. Nobody pays attention like you do.
Really?
You don't miss anything.
But I could tell, he's holding back.
That's why you're so good on stage.
Well, thank you. And you're good at what you do. You are good at your job.
Thank you.
What do you want to be better at?
Comedy.
You want to be better at comedy?
I want to be better at comedy.
Because you got the job down. You nailed the job stuff. You got that.
That's all taken care of.
So you're talking about on stage.
On stage.
The performer, Brenton. Okay. And how do you think you're going to get there?
I just have to let go and not care about failing more. I care too much, I think. I want to be good. I don't want to bomb. Don't even think about bombing.
I know. That shouldn't even be in your. But bomb.
It's still there.
I understand. But that word. Now, here's the thing. I played baseball at Arizona State. I always go back to that. We have most players in the major leagues, respected major baseball program. Mm-hmm. We learned about, words. Like, you can never say a negative word. Can never say, don't strike out or bomb. It's always something positive. It's like our coach, he talked about when he would play golf. He was known as a big psych.
So let me ask, is that where you kind of took on your philosophy of positivity, or did it start before that? Would you say it was at Arizona State where you kind of had like, oh, this is how I want to live my life and this is the direction I'm going to go, or was it before?
It was after. I was always a nice guy. I was a nice kid. I got picked on for being nice. So I was a nice kid, right? And then I was always, I was a decent baseball player, a good teammate, I think. Mm-hmm. Then when I went to Arizona State, I got recruited by them to be a walk-on. I went out there. I was like, whoa. And I wanted to get out of the San Fernando Valley. I needed to get out of L.A., Southern California. And I went there, and I just knew it was connected to all these Major League Baseball teams. I had been there one other time to spring training, and I said, if I want to play baseball and be the best baseball player I could be, I want to be surrounded by the best. So I felt like if I went to Arizona State, I get to be around all these Major League Baseball spring trainings, the Cubs, the A's, the Angels, the Mariners, the Padres. They were all there. So I'm like around baseball. And Arizona State was like it was like a minor league program. It was like or almost a major league program. It was like a big thing there. And so I knew we would get like special training, good coaching, and then we brought in mental coaches. So that was one thing they brought in, Harvey Dorfman and Ken Revisa. But Harvey Dorfman was the guy, he wrote The Mental Game of Baseball. He worked for the Oakland A's, who trained down the street. He would come in and talk to us, and we learned about, meditating, quieting the mind, and then positive affirmations, and then that sort of thing. So I learned about being positive. I learned about having fun. I learned about focusing on fun. When you're a teammate, it's always like we had fun. Like, let's go. Like the guy's number 22. Let's go. 2-2, sticks, Gemini, yes. Just into it. Energy, but always positive. We also knew we were good. We were at Arizona State. Our coach said always, just make the routine play. We're better. We're just make the routine play. So I learned about positivity there, and it made me a better baseball player because I got better to a certain point. And then they kept me on to coach. So I learned that I got better to a certain point. I maxed out, I think, my baseball physical playing ability. Mm-hmm. But then when they brought me into coach, it showed me like they don't want me to leave. They like having me around. So I saw there was and these are guys who try to get rid of me. I could tell my freshman year, they didn't get me. Who's this guy? He's a weirdo. And they tried to weed me out. I didn't even play one inning of JV ball in freshman fall. Nothing. This guy's a weirdo. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not a weirdo. I went to Reseda. I did well. People liked me here. So it's not like I'm a weirdo. They just don't understand me. But I stuck to my guns. And then they started coming around. And then my baseball season that freshman year, I got better and better because maybe the coaches weren't helping me, but the players started like warming up to me. Mm-hmm. And so the older pitchers would say, hey, Brody, work on this in the mirror. Then another guy would give me advice, always be working on that. And I went from my freshman year at Arizona State, didn't play one inning of fall ball, JV, nothing, to the end of the year traveling with the varsity to the regionals in Waterbury, Connecticut. I went from nothing to that and then being sent to Alaska to play for the summer. And then the coming years, I'd see they would try to weed guys out. Coach would always like make an example out of somebody. You bring in a top recruit, I can cut you. You're like lazy, you're talking back, you're not having good grades. You'd make examples out of people. But I started learning the psychology behind it all. So anyway, I learned it there. Then when I got into comedy, just to make a long story short, I went to Seattle and I just learned everything there. Sold T-shirts at the Seattle Supersonic games, cable access, talking. Same thing I kind of went through at Arizona State. Like people didn't really like me at first, maybe, or didn't get me. Then I went to 3 years and I went to New York City, 97 to 2000. And I learned about I feel like too much caffeine is what happens to me. I'm not like totally relaxed. For some reason, I'm not relaxed, but I feel like I want to share this story, like, and how I've done it before, but. So, and I went to New York because I always felt like if you can't make it in New York, you can't make it anywhere. I was always told, you got to go to New York. So when I went to New York, I jumped in, and this is already after I found my voice in Seattle. So I had a kind of a voice. Yes, push, that. Then I went to New York, and I really and they didn't like me at first either. Who is this guy? And because I played baseball and I went through it in Seattle being the new guy, I just let it roll off my back. I go, they'll come around. I'm not going to go, I was somebody in Seattle. I played baseball at Arizona State too. You don't talk to me that way. I just they'll come around because I'm not a bad guy. Mm-hmm. You're treating me, and I go, that's them, not me. So I just stuck to my guns, and they came around. They liked me, and I was a tour guide at Radio City, but not really. Oh, then I was a barker at the Comedy Cellar, so I'd bring everybody in. Yes, we have comedy here, cheaper than a movie. Come on down. I had a clipboard, and that's where I met, Greg Giraldo, Dave Attell, Todd Barry, Mark Maron. I barked there. This is after Louis Schaefer, who was their big barker, and he went away to England. And he was popular. He'd, bring everybody in. And I did it. Long story short, that was a positive energy thing. But it didn't happen until I started doing warm-up. And I was lucky in 2000 to start doing it at Best Damn Sports Show. So I was able to apply sports and comedy. And as a warm-up, and having basically every high school football and baseball team from Los Angeles and community college in the shows. So it's really able to combine sports, pushing, and comedy. And I saw the results through the TV show. The TV show just kept going. The Best Damn Sports Show kept getting better and more guests and more interesting characters, and the show stayed on the air. And I was every day I was able to play learning body language and learning how to just everything through those 1,000 shows there. So that's where I did it, basically through warm-up. And then I went to Chelsea, and then I was always just doing my stand-up. And then once I started getting out of warm-up and making the effort to be more into comedy and just sharing that positive message, because it's funny, too. It's funny to say I'm positive, even though the reason why I say I'm positive, and another reason, two reasons. I remember in 2000-ish, maybe late 1998, 99, A-Rod, I was hanging out. I knew him from the Yankees. And he said, Brody, he says, you're positive. You have positive buzz. He told me that. And I said, yeah, I do, I guess. So that's when I started believing it. And then I had also one of the pitchers, Mike Mussina, for the Yankees, who came up to me because I'd go out to lunch with him through my friend who was a coach of the Yankees, Borzello. I played baseball at Arizona State. Mussina played at Stanford. We'd go to lunch. We'd talk baseball. And then he told me one time, or Borzello told me, he said he was in Seattle pitching against the Mariners for the Yankees. And the pitching coach came out to talk to him, Mel Stottlemyre from the Yankees, and he said, I couldn't stop thinking about Brody and talking about mechanics, talking about certain things. So little things like that, little A-Rod saying I'm good energy, Mike Mussina saying I think about that. And then little things I picked up that shows me that I'm doing something right. These are something sticking with it. Mm-hmm. So I know I have that. So it's almost when I take something that's good and I push it, like this apple cider vinegar. Everyone's doing it now. But it's the power of believing, putting it out there. But I'm not pushing a crappy thing.
Yeah.
I'm pushing something that's what I said. I have guys Tony gives me a compliment for stuff. I had a Ligney who's out on the road for Lord of Flies. He's out there doing stuff. I've got...
He's been out there for a while.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
Steven getting married. Not that I had anything to do with that, but him, I know he appreciates.
He asked you to speak at his wedding, and that says a lot.
Yeah. So all I could say for those things, those are indicators. Whether I feel it or not, depending on where I'm at mentally or physically or whatever meds I'm on, I know it works.
Yeah.
So I can't always do it. I'm not saying everyone can do it. I'm saying that there is something there. And if it's worth a shot. And I've seen enough, quote-unquote, successful people tell me that it's helped them. So it's not even necessarily like a money thing. You help me make $1 million. But it's like little things. Like, so that's what I try to share. And then, yeah. You know what the deal is? Like, caffeine's too much for me. I'm like short of breath from caffeine.
I don't drink coffee.
You're smart.
I don't know what that feels like, but I get sleepy every day around the same time.
Maybe a coffee. But what do you think about that? Do you think the positive energy? I mean, that's where I do it. And honestly, I've seen good results. I've had fun. Have I been able to? Could I turn it into money? Probably. If I was smart, if I took that same energy.
You could make a business out of it.
I could make it more into like career-wise.
Yeah.
If I put that energy into selling T-shirts or booking shows. Or
even just speaking. Excuse me. Brody's seminar.
But it honestly, it's not coming from a negative place. Yeah. It's coming from a positive place, and I like to show people examples of that. It's not just out of thin air. It's from, we did it at Arizona State. We did it at Tarzana Little League. Well, who did it? So-and-so, look at that. So there are ways to do it, and I think now, more than ever, it might not more than ever, but it's something that, I sleep well at night. To be honest, I sleep well at night. And reading people's tweets or hearing what they say, it seems like maybe they don't sleep well. So many people have sleeping problems. Mm-hmm. I go to bed sleeping well. The only thing I worry about, honestly, is, I guess, a couple bucks. Survival. Yeah. I don't worry about if I'm on the right path or not, or if I made the wrong choices. I've made mistakes. I have regrets. But I know my heart, my mind, my gut, my balls are in the right place. So that's why I try to share that. Like, I have some peace with that. And it's not necessarily like a religious thing and like meditation. It's something else. I don't know.
It's rare.
But I owe a lot of it to the Comedy Store. And that's another thing I see. I put a lot of my energies, my thoughts into that place. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying by osmosis I've made it happen, but I've been coming there since 94. 93 was the first I did my workshop there, and I grew up, seeing that. My mom lived over near there, so I put it back into that place. It's a gym, and I don't know. What do you think, Brenton?
You're an important part of that place. And honestly, you add to the character of the store, and it's.
But characters are welcome. Anybody's welcome.
It's filled with unique characters that you wouldn't have anywhere else.
Yeah,
that's what makes the place special.
And it doesn't matter if
you can go to a comedy club in a different city every weekend and see a good show, but you're not going to see. It's a circus at the store.
Yeah.
There's all different acts. There's ringleaders. There's, lions jumping through hoops. It's insanity, and it's amazing.
And the people, and you know what? The people get along.
Yes.
The comedians get along, and it's diverse. And it's not like the
last time that there was actually like a physical confrontation, you know what happened from that? Roast battle was created.
See, there you go.
Instead of guys fighting in the parking lot, they went up on stage and roasted each other.
Yeah.
And then that became a hit show.
And you know what? The Comedy Store, the comedians police themselves. Mm-hmm. There's no outside sources policing. You have management, of course, but for the most part, comedians police
the managers definitely take a step back and they let things happen.
Yeah. And again, they let things happen. And it's diverse, and it's not forced. It's not like we have. Sometimes, of course, you want to mix it up, some things. But for the most part, I'm talking handicapped to African-American to Latino to transgender to white to conservative to radical to homeless. It's all there.
Yep.
And it gets along, and it actually thrives. Now, there might be, of course, people who have, there's always going to be issues. But if you look at it, step back and look at the whole of the universe of the Comedy Store, it's definitely like a pretty cool thing to say we're a part of, and knowing that we, not just a part of it, we contribute to it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see, it would be kind of cool. You think, like, why can't, the Improv do it, or why can't other places? You need the right kind of, it's not just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. It's something else, too. You have to, like, want to do it. I bet you, I think I could probably, it's a formula, but you also have to frickin' go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like you could go somewhere and look, I could turn the Improv into the Comedy Store. But you know what? You could go there and definitely tighten it up.
But the difference between the Comedy Store and I think any other comedy club in the history of comedy is Mitzi didn't make decisions based on money or business.
There you go.
She made decisions based on artistic integrity and what she wanted to see and what she thought people would enjoy and what would give comics the most opportunity to grow and succeed.
She made the mold and set the foundation.
Yes. Whereas most places, while they're still good, they are all about, well, let's see if we can get the best food on the menu to sell more food and push drinks and have specials and we'll paper the room and get more people in.
No.
Mitzi didn't care about that.
Yeah, I would, like I said, growing up, and I would see like, the Improv shows, week with the Improv, live at the Improv, or Catch a Rising Star. I just never envisioned myself doing that.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't or haven't, I just never. But seeing the lights of the Comedy Store and that seeing just the logo of the Comedy Store and just the simple black and white and red.
Yeah.
And I took that workshop at UCLA. The Improv didn't offer a workshop. The Laugh Factory didn't offer a workshop. I needed a workshop. I needed structure. And the Comedy Store offered it. It's like the Comedy Store still offers workshops. They have open mics. They have, there's opportunities. So even back then, the Comedy Store in its way was like associated. I mean, Sebastian took that workshop. I took it. And I'm glad I did. And if I just followed it. So... Mm-hmm. And everything you hear about the Comedy Store is true. It's like, it really is. I just don't think you can ever get too much of it. It's just like, it's like a living thing. Mm-hmm. And you got to protect it. But I also just think it's just, we built it up, like all built in, just keep adding to it. Brenton's very emotional. He's got to get going, though.
It's my favorite place.
And you know what?
I actually have a call with all of the managers in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Wednesdays at 4:30. We talk business.
I feel like I rambled a little bit.
Might be the caffeine.
Could be.
But I always have fun, and I always enjoy seeing you, and I'm sorry I keep smashing the table and ruining the sound, but that's my...
Ladies and gentlemen, Brenton Biddlecombe, he gets it. He's pushing. He was at the wedding. He's everywhere. He's at the wedding. He's here. He's there. He's doing this. He's writing up the tweets, too. I get nervous. If I have to tweet, I ask you, like you tweeted out a happy birthday. I think it was to Joe Rogan. I was going, that's pressure.
Yeah.
See,
you make one typo, people jump on you.
That's what I'm saying.
They love when you make mistakes.
I know.
Love it.
So how do you deal with the pressure of not having, hopefully, to make a mistake and have 100, 200,000 people look at that?
You just got to recheck it. You just have to be very careful.
But when you tweet out, say that
you can't rush anymore. There's no rushing.
No rushing.
I used to rush. Now I don't rush.
Take your time.
Yeah.
But when you tweet out, say, like to a Rogan or somebody big, do you think what you pick your words? Do you think, or he's like you're very comfortable with it? I feel like
I'm pretty comfortable with it. And I mean, it's a comedy club. I'm tweeting for a comedy club. I'm not tweeting like
personal.
Here are my political thoughts. Joe Rogan, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm not putting anything controversial out there.
You know why I really something about me with Twitter. I don't really reply people. I just feel like I don't want to. I feel like I'm bringing them up on a stage. Mm-hmm. Like I'm bringing them up on a stage and here, hi everybody, we're looking at. I just don't want to. Maybe that's just it's in my head, but that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like I just don't want to engage.
You just like whatever they send you, or you just keep it real short. Thank you. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could be definitely more active. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Brenton Biddlecombe, you got it. We're going to wrap this thing up. Emma, thank you. Everybody else, thank you. I'm going to get going. I'm tired all of a sudden. Emma, are you awake?
Caffeine.
I'm awake.
You're awake.
I got a coffee.
What's that?
I got my caffeine.
All right, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Should I feel okay about it?
I think you did great.
All right. Charles and Brian both sent in $8.18. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much. Had a good show. Had fun. Going to keep pushing. Positive energy. Yes, you got it. Stephen Brody Stevens, All Things Comedy, here in Burbank, California. You got it. Tonight I'll be at Squat Melt, and then later on at the world famous Comedy Store. You know what I need to do? I need to get back. I need to do some breathing exercises and start doing that. All right, folks, I'll talk to you later. Yes.